Welcome to the Papa Do Preach the Dad Podcast, episode 26.
Dads talking to dads, learning to be better dads,
and laughing about it
at the same time.
I think y'all should do that 3 times fast.
Like, follow,
subscribe. Welcome to the.
I said 3 times fast.
I'll cut it.
Yeah.
I'll cut it right there.
Yeah.
That'll be the intro. So we're here with my buddy Sean Austin, one of my favorite people to work with. What's up, man?
Thank you.
I
just saw you today.
I was say we had a shoot today.
I know. I think you're stalking me. You know.
Yeah,
Did you shit in
it's
his
my goal.
bathroom?
No,
He was in the back
No,
for
that
a while while I was out front.
that
I
one
wonder
was
what he was
occupied.
doing.
That's actually
I
that would
only
be
do
really
that
good
at
for
bacon.
listing photos, like first person view from the toilet,
the bathroom?
Yeah.
in the bathroom.
Honestly, it's
That's
hard
not
to
a-
get a
that's not
good
a bad
shot.
idea.
That might be the
That
that
be
might
a
be
good
the
idea,
spot.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I own 10% of all sales.
Yeah.
Pixels owes us $12.50 for mentioning them in the podcast.
Yeah, man. I've always liked talking to you. I know we have definitely talked a lot, and this sounds like a humble brag, but I've done so many deals. I can't recall if we've done a deal together. I've done
That's
so
a
many.
good question. I think
Yeah.
we have
Like
somewhere.
2020 maybe?
Maybe 18,
Because
19, 20, somewhere
I
along
think
there.
it was then because I remember living in on King Avenue. I was in that kitchen, and me and you just chatted. We basically were working our first deal together, and we just got to talking for a good like 30, 40 minutes.
I
on
can
the
do
phone.
that. I like to talk.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you're good hang, so it was cool.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. But
That's the great thing about our business, man. I get to meet a lot of really cool people and talk to a lot of really
Yeah.
cool people, and have similar things going on, and
only a few assholes.
very few.
Yeah, no,
very
the cool
few.
people to asshole ratio is great.
Very few.
I feel like the more that I work with people, the more everybody's just like comfortable. I feel like I don't work with realtors based on how everybody perceives realtors. I don't.
Yeah.
Nobody acts like that towards me at all, which is great.
What do you
And
mean,
I'm sure,
like professional and
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
none of
everybody's
us.
just unprofessional and themselves. I mean, it's not like this stoic professionalism like James Bond. That's what you just like assume. Like, oh, we've got a real estate
Oh
agent.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like
Realtors and James Bond, they're always in the same sentence.
Yeah, secret agents, right?
Yes.
agents.
We always get the lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we start the show off every single week. We just talk about what we've done this week in dadding. So if there's anything that is going on in your life as a dad.
Tell us about your kids first off. I don't know.
Yes.
I
age,
have
how many.
I have one 28-year-old
Okay.
who just bought his first house in July,
Awesome.
and I'm proud of him. He graduated from Mayo in Darlington with honors, and he went to South Carolina, got a 4-year degree, a certified PE teacher, and graduated with honors. He came back and coached for a year in Darlington, and
Okay.
he didn't like it. He said, oh, it's all weekends and nights and, putting in 14, 15-hour days. And so he went back to school and got a master's in adapted PE. And everybody looks at me when I tell them that, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, what's that?
So he works in Richland 1, and he bounces around to about 18 different schools, and he does PE with special needs children all day long.
Nice.
He mainly works with autistic kids or cerebral palsy children in wheelchairs.
Dude, that is
because
awesome.
they have, they have to have PE to graduate. And so
You got to be so proud of him.
it tickles, man. It gives me chills when I think about what he does. I'd be in tears every day, man, if every day I was looking at these children that,
Yeah.
had some sort of, physical disability or mental disability.
Yeah, but it
I
gives
would
them
be in
something.
tears every day. But he says, Dad, they have the biggest hearts, and they're
Yeah.
they're tickled. I'm bouncing balls with them or bowling with them, and and hanging out with them, and of course he fusses about the pay, but
You ever listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, Be Useful?
I haven't.
Like he played a big part in the Special Olympics with the weight training and the deadlifts and I don't know the other one where you lift over your head, whatever the hell that is. But the other one, I don't do either one of those.
That thing.
Yeah. But it's really an awesome section of the book when he talks about that, and then just watching the confidence grow in the kids just from doing. He started with deadlifts and benching because he felt like that was the simplest motion
Yeah.
for them to do, and it was it's a really good listen in general, but that particular section was just awesome.
Does he have any kids himself?
He doesn't. He's got 3 cats and a dog, I guess.
He's gonna have the pure patience for it, because I feel like anybody who can do that, has just like the patience of a saint.
Anybody can work with any kids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a lot.
We knew when he was younger. My wife and I were youth leaders at church, and I could tell even when he was younger how good he was with younger children.
Yeah.
And my wife always said he was going to end up going into education, and he went to go to be in medicine. I got a brother-in-law, a nurse practitioner, and so he got into the nursing school at South Carolina, and he did about 3 semesters of that, and he comes home that Christmas and he says, "Dad, I think I'm going to change majors and get a PE degree." And I'm thinking, you just want something easy, you know? And he said, "I got to keep a 3.8 GPA." And he said, "All I'm doing is studying all the time, and I don't have time to hang out with my buddies or do anything." And I'm like, "Son, if you were laid up in a hospital, would you want nurses working on you that made C's and D's in college?" He said, "I never really thought about it like that before." And I was like, "Well, there's a reason why you got to keep a high GPA there." Yeah. But he was always an athlete, man. He played every sport you could think of. Hockey. He played hockey for 6-7 years when Petey Pride was here and was really good. He played football, baseball, tennis, golf. Really good golfer, great golf swing. And it was just always in the sports. So it sort of made sense that, he went to PE, and I thought, oh man, he's going to be a great coach. One day he's got bright red hair, and I could, he looks like Chucky almost, with his hair. And I thought, man, you'd be a great coach on the sideline. And but
that's what I think when I watch Child's Play.
Yeah. What a good coach. I mean, couldn't you see him on the sideline for an NFL team? Running around with his knife in his hand.
I mean, you could definitely see him. You're right.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Chucky in Spanish?
What?
It's a short reel. Oh, just give me a second. Really quick.
Chucky in Spanish.
So you can even cut out the searching part of it, because it's going to be so worth it. Hold on. I know I sent this to my dad, so I can find it very quickly. He cried. He laughed so hard at this.
Everybody's gonna have to Google it now.
I know. Well, we're gonna take the guesswork out, because if it's not very long, I'll stick it up into the episode for a second. It'll just pop up.
This?
Chucky in Spanish. He actually Lamar Rescue Squad. Fire department used to have a haunted house in Lamar, Haunted Hills of Lynch's River.
I remember that. Yeah.
And so I for years I worked the door, letting people into the haunted house, and he always dressed up and was around chainsaws. Well, we found a Chucky outfit for him. And, man, you want to talk about a popular attraction out at the haunted house. People would come out, "We heard Chucky's here. Where's Chucky?" And
dude,
I got it.
Before we started working together, it's funny you said that, because I feel like the first time that I ever met you that I recognized you, and I think that's where I actually remember you from.
I volunteered out there at night, letting people in the doors, counting the groups.
Because I'm telling you, the day that I met you, you looked so familiar to me.
I look like Brett Favre when I don't shave, I just don't have his money. But
all right, we ready for Chucky in Spanish?
Yes.
A ver, hijo de la chingada, deja de estar viendo memes, pendejo. A la verga, me vale verga, perro. Y cálense a la verga, hija de su puta madre, a la verga. La verga, vergazos con la verga.
Are you sure that's in Spanish and not Korean? That sounded aggressive.
Spanish, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep, I'm sending that to you now.
Please do. That was
worth it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, that was definitely worth you sidetracking for 3 minutes to find 10 seconds of a
I had
clip.
to scroll back a lot further than I thought. It was September when I was there, and I sent it to him.
Why don't you just type it into YouTube?
I don't know. I thought it'd be quicker, and I was wrong.
I played golf Friday with a local lender, and we had to play Woodlands twice at Trace's, and
I hate that
they had a
place.
tournament going on, and number 8's par 5, and kind of a snaky cart path, and by the time my son could walk, if I wanted to play golf, my wife's like, "Take him with you," so he's 2, 3, 4 years old running around me on golf courses, and we got to that hole and it started drizzling. There was a foursome in front of us, and I decided I'm gonna cut in front of him and get on out of here because it's starting to rain. And normally he was in the cart with me. He's about 4 years old. I'd hold his leg or riding. Well, I'm trying to get in front of these golfers, before they hit their next shot.
I see where this is going.
Yeah, and I'd make a turn, and he goes flying out of the golf cart. And in my mind, it was in slow motion too. He's airborne and all the grass out there, and he smacks on the concrete and scrapes his knees and elbows and chin up, and I freak out and jump out and grab him and pick him up and grab him in the cart, and he's crying. And by the time we got back to the parking lot, he had stopped crying.
2 hours later,
we lived a mile from the clubhouse, and by the time we get to the house, I think everything's cool. By the time we load up and get there, he's saying, and we walk in the door, and the first thing he does is start bawling again. Mama, Daddy threw me out of a golf cart.
oh,
I thought my wife was gonna kill me.
that's one thing that I feel like my kids and I don't have that connection to, they're not really into the same stuff.
You've never thrown them out of a golf cart?
Right.
Really?
I want the chance.
That's
how you
another
bond.
year, right?
I don't even have the chance. I bought Bryce golf clubs so he would come with us, and I think he swung them 3 times.
He didn't have much choice. If I was going to play golf, my wife's like, take him with you. So
Yeah.
I mean, anytime I'd go meet
Sounds
buddies,
great.
he was tagging along with me.
So one son?
Well, just one.
Just one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we didn't think we had him we could afford anymore, and
I feel that.
looking back, I wish I'd had about 5
He's
or
like,
6.
you can't.
I had to go talk. We had to go talk to a financial advisor this week because I can't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and my wife talked about come the new year, we're gonna have sit down and intentionally live like we're poor for a couple years.
Yeah.
So
Even at
because we're
28,
poor.
I have yet to be able to cut the umbilical cord. It's still attached. It's still, still hitting me up, getting text money. Hey, Dad, can you send me money? And
So, yeah,
at some point, I keep threatening the tough love thing to my wife, and then of course he texts me wanting money, and I Venmo him, and I'm like, what am, and then I get mad afterwards.
You're like, go get it yourself.
Why did
How
I
much
just
do
send
you
him
need?
money? What did I do that for?
it sounds like though that he's got a career.
He does. He's but unfortunately, when you have one and you have 2 working parents, and my wife and I, fortunately, have been very successful in our adult lives and our career paths, and it's easy to spoil them. Easy
They
to
can get this going.
easy to throw them $20 or whatever, or pay for this or do that, and and then it's hard when you want them to have a work ethic, understand you're gonna one day I'm gonna be gone, you have to figure this out on your own, man. You ain't gonna have a safety net here. But
I like to think I'm gonna be good when it comes to that time, but I don't know.
it's tough.
Yeah,
It's tough.
I mean,
It's easy to sit here and say I'm
It
not
is.
doing that.
yeah.
But I recall my parents not having a savings account and stuff for us, and then the second that shit hit the fan for us, they were the first people that had my bag. So it's just I'm gonna be that person. I already know it. I just gotta accept it.
I'm gonna say I want you to be better than
a safety
me.
net at the circus, if he gets in trouble, I'm here,
Yeah.
But so I don't know that you ever do get to cut the umbilical cord. I know the day he was born, when the doctor came at me with those scissors, wanting me to cut the umbilical cord, I about threw up, and I was like, "I'm paying you a lot of money. You do that, buddy. I don't."
I literally said the same thing.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
I
it.
said, how much do I get off the bill?
I remember they came at my wife with that epidural needle, and I about passed out. The nurse had to grab me and put
That
me in
thing
a
is
chair.
huge,
That needle
by the
looked like
way.
it was that long. I thought it was going to poke through her
like
and
a
stick
ruler.
me, and I was
Dude.
like, get that thing away from me.
And they had a student doing it on my wife and was having trouble, so she's just bleeding
Jesus.
like crazy out her back. And eventually,
Yeah.
the
That's
doctor,
just what you need.
That's when
Michael
I'd
J.
have-
Fox about to
I'd
put
have-
that thing in her
Yeah.
bag, dude.
That's
What?
wrong. Funny, but wrong.
A student? Where did you get Parkinson's from?
They were nervous.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
How did we get there?
That's wrong.
But yeah, eventually, the Dr. Cox of the group came in and did it. So
That's a good reference.
I mean,
I
Scrubs is the
understood
best
that
show
fully.
ever. The best.
Scrubs.
Was the
Scrubs, you owe us
funniest show.
$12.50 for mentioning you on the
Yeah, they're rebooting.
So
I don't
cool.
care how bad it is. I'll watch every episode. Of
All right.
that show.
So this week we'll start
Okay,
with
me?
you. Yeah.
All right.
What happened with what happened this week? with
That's
you?
a good sound because kids are disgusting. My daughter is gross. I love her. She's
Yeah?
3 years old. She's so gross, and I have 2 stories of one. Before bedtime yesterday, she had to use the bathroom, and she does a thing now. I need privacy, and she closes the door. So after a minute or so, I'm checking on her, and I open the door. I said, "What are you doing?" And she's standing there, and her hand is dug in her ass, with one singular square of toilet paper. And I'm like,
That's how it was when I grew up. We only had one piece, and you'd stick your finger through it, and you'd wipe your butt, and then you'd use a little piece you tore out to clean your fingernail afterwards.
I said that was my square. What are you doing? No,
Go
but
wash my square.
But yeah, that's exactly what happened. When she's done, she pulls her hand out, and there's 2 fingers through the toilet paper and brown on the toilet paper. Then she puts it in the toilet and then flushes with her shitty fingers. And I'm just like, get in the tub, Jesus. Yeah.
Do you guys have Charmin? Did that one square hold up a little bit?
We have great value.
You got prison.
I don't know
prison
which one we
TP.
got. Whatever's got a coupon at BJ's is what we got. So, but it's cushiony. It's not sandpaper.
Yeah, no. That's not like the gas station stuff. That's like receipt paper.
I don't believe in spending too much money on something you're going to drag across your asshole, but I don't want the sandpaper either.
There you go. Yeah, there's a limit.
There's a balance.
I'm not buying name brand, but I'm also not buying single ply.
Yeah.
And see, my son would clog up toilets all over the place. He'd use a half a roll when he was in there, and you'd come in and look at the toilet.
I do appreciate
it's just like a big wad of like somebody had flushed a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in there. You know,
I feel like my kids wipe with a blanket for how much they put in there. Dude, it's ridiculous.
First thing I said was 1, thank you for not wasting toilet paper. 2, wash your hands. No.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, she's on the couch, I'm on the other chair, and she's asking mommy to throw something out. She's like, garbage. And she's like, what is that? And I'm like kind of half paying attention. And she's like, well, what is it? She's like, garbage. What is it, garbage? And my wife takes it, and she goes, it's a booger. So, kids are disgusting.
Yes, they are.
They are so gross.
oh.
Yeah, Harper's trying to like get potty trained slowly. She's not doing a great job at it. She loves the idea of it, so she'll run to the bathroom and she's like, "Daddy, I gotta go pee pee," and now she says, "I gotta poomp, POOMP. Daddy, I'm a poomp."
Is that both?
I guess.
Where's the M come in? Actually,
I don't know,
That's a
but
good word.
she's doing the single square thing. She'll say, "Daddy, paper," and I'll give her a TP, and I'll like start to pull it out, and she'll just rip one piece off, and she's.
Yeah.
I'm like, you didn't even go. Like, she just likes the idea. She'll sit down and she'll go,
Yeah.
and then nothing happens, and then she's ready to wipe.
My daughter wants to wipe her ass every time she pees, and she goes to wipe her ass. I told my wife, I'm like, you got to teach her how to wipe. I'm not teaching this.
Nope.
Like,
Different methods.
yeah. So, anyway, how does your kid wipe his ass?
That's a good question. Yeah,
Power wash?
I can remember him being younger, yelling across, the room, "Daddy, come wipe my ass," and we would laugh at that because I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been, reduced to.
That's
I'm
all right.
an ass wiper now.
Yoeventually, it'll come back around. He's gonna have to wipe
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah,
It's all
right.
good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, he threatens me. I'm putting you in a home. And
Dick.
yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoy being.
You're
a
like,
parent,
never
though.
mind, I'm not sending you money.
Yeah.
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 I don't have Venmo anymore.
Yeah. My this week in dadding though, I would say potty training that's not a week thing. That's a long haul. That's a journey so far.
Yeah.
But I've been hanging Christmas lights with my dad for their house.
Okay, because yours have been up all year.
And that makes me feel like such a dad. Yeah, they're about to come down too.
Just in time for Christmas.
No, not before Christmas. These things are ass, man. They suck so bad. I turn it to red and it turns pink. I turn it to white and it turns orange. I give up. Anyway, but it's been like I've got like OCD super bad when I do this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we started it the other night, and then that's all I could think about because it wasn't done. So we got halfway around the house, and it's been polluting my brain. Like, when can I get back over there? So middle of the day, I went there twice today because I was just so determined to get it done. So I'm up on like a 30-foot ladder hanging lights before I got to your listing, and it's like the most terrifying thing in the world. And the whole time I could just feel my leg just like shaking. And I'm like, dude, I swear it's not that high.
30
But-
foot?
But when you're up,
It's
there,
30
high.
foot's pretty high when you're up there.
I used
So
to
I'm like
frame
up at
houses.
the
It's
peak.
high.
And yeah, I'm excited to do it here, but that was I got to apply my OCD well there because it looks fantastic, and I'm excited. I don't know if You probably didn't get the invite because you're not cool enough. But
Fuck you.
my mom is having a Christmas party, so I'm like determined. Like I have to get it done before Thanksgiving, and I definitely need to have it done before the Christmas party because my mom's house
When is it?
Christmas time,
I'm busy
December
that
5th. Yeah. My mom's house at Christmas time is extravagant.
Speaking of
It's
which,
beautiful.
I'm going to get photos from my mother's house, and I want to do a Papa Do Preach contest. Do like a like or a heart, and let's just like room versus room, mom versus mom. We're pitting our mom's Christmas deck. My mother literally handmade every single Christmas ornament on the tree.
That's awesome. How many trees does she have
Wow.
in the house?
The amount of trees does not determine the quality of the
The
Christmas
amount
decoration.
of trees and the amount of ornaments and the amount of lights because of said number of trees. Back me up here. I
We're
know you
gonna
got
get-
45 trees at your house too,
We
right?
have, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
They have a Christmas tree
5.
farm in their house.
1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4.
Cool.
can't even count 'em.
We'll
5,
let the
6
public
trees.
decide.
It's like getting competitive.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
your mom is not as cool as my mom.
No, man, your mom is cool as hell, and it's there'll be whoever wins. I'm just saying, my mom is a competitor in this field,
Yeah.
and I do not think.
How
either
does she deal with losing? Because my mom is just
We'll
insane.
find out.
All right. I've got the coolest tree of anybody.
I went over there today, and I'm telling you, she has like a 20-foot tree in the room that she had to rearrange her entire living room just to make
All
room
right.
for.
Scroll, zoom in and scroll to the right a couple of times.
I'm scared to.
No,
Keep
just
scrolling and
Go to
people
the
scroll.
right. Don't go the other way. You might see
This
something
is
you don't
one
want to
tree.
see. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Joan Fontana
what that
can
is?
decorate a goddamn tree.
A Carolina tree.
I have a black Christmas tree.
That's one tree, one season from my mother's.
I have a black Christmas tree with white lights.
Why are we competing?
with nothing but gamecock ornaments?
Oh,
on
suddenly he doesn't want to compete. He sees what my
Yeah,
mom can do, and now he doesn't want to
it?
compete.
See my
Tom.
gamecock
Oh.
tree.
I
That's cool.
promise you, my mom willingly accepts that challenge. Even
First off-
with you showing me that picture, willingly accepted.
Your mom,
It's already like 80% done too. My mom does not
mom-
waste
yeah.
any time when it comes. It's like, oh, Halloween's over, bam, all the
Yeah.
Christmas trees down.
my mom normally doesn't do that, but they have like a bunch of doctor's appointments, so she did it this year. They got the inside of the house done, but the outside will not be done till after Thanksgiving because she
Slacking.
lives in a society, and Thanksgiving exists.
First of all, let me explain something to you about the Christmas lights that I'm hanging there. They're not Christmas lights. They are permanent outdoor exterior lights for any time.
What are you hanging a floodlight? What?
Basically, they're pretty damn bright. Those things will be good. So my mom told me how much she paid for somebody to come help hang Christmas lights, and then you have to take them down, and it was like $400 more than we paid
Than
for
what
these
you
lights
charged her?
to leave up for for like 7 years. These lights will last probably longer than that. So it's
look,
like it's more time for us, but saving so much.
Here's
in
a
the long
different
run.
Christmas. I'm just scrolling through her Facebook. And
How
finding
tall
one.
are her ceilings?
I don't know. So
If it's not nearly towards the
all we're doing is we're getting pictures of the decorations. We're putting them on posts. One heart, one likes. We'll let the public decide. That's it. That's
Okay.
all.
I'm just preparing
All
your
right.
mom.
Anybody with the last name
Nicely for a
Westerbeck,
letdown.
their vote will be removed. Just so you know.
Well, I can tell you, my wife and I have decided that this year's Christmas is going to be all about it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
And I think
She trying to get in on this competition?
Ass.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, and I think my mom's going to kick your mom's ass.
Well,
We'll see.
Sorry, Kathy. I have no idea.
my formal dining room is decorated with a tree. My living room is decorated with a tree. My foyer is decorated. My sunroom is decorated with a tree. My
Yeah.
breakfast nook area is decorated with a tree. And my whole kitchen area is decorated. There's no counter space. There's snowmen
Yeah.
just everywhere. You know, it's like they're, you know.
I got to step out of character for a second because of how much I love your mom. Kathy, I think you can respect that I am just backing my mom up 100% here. It's not personal. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, that's really all it
And
is.
he'll figure out that he's wrong. It's all
And
good.
if I'm
it's
wrong,
not
I'm
a
wrong.
big deal. It's really not a big deal.
I will tip my hat in respect.
Y'all have gone down a rabbit hole here.
This is what we do. We go down the rabbit hole often.
But I would say, I called you, you didn't pick up earlier. That popped in my head that we should do that.
I
like it.
Why don't y'all let's get a squared circle, get your mom, and we'll
Lots of
charge
loves.
$25 admission when you just call me Sean King, and we'll get a big thing, and we'll let you two moms
That's
duke
the
it
thing.
out.
They have to decorate their boxing gear.
Oh, there you go. They can bedazzle
And then
their
whichever
gloves.
boxing gear holds up the longest.
All right.
Dang.
Yeah, Jake's giving me a hard time about the dog out there. I don't know if you've ever heard this story. I don't know if I should tell the story.
Oh,
If y'all wanna hear
which
this
story? We'll
Hold
start
on. We
with
just
the
brought up
dog
Michael
one.
Vick, and you're
Well,
talking about
yeah,
dog
no.
stories,
Made me
so
think
I don't
Hey,
want to hear
made me
this.
We're
think
talking
about-
about attacking dogs, so we're gonna
Are you
continue
attacking the
on
dogs,
the
or they're
trend.
attacking you?
So I'm on my way to Clio to list a Southern Plantation. Gorgeous, 6,000 square
CLIO?
foot. CLIO.
Have I been saying that wrong? My
Have you
entire
been saying
career?
Cleo?
Yeah.
Call me now for your tarot reading. It's not that. Call me now.
It's
Call
pronounced,
me now.
It's pronounced shallot,
It's in
not
the cards.
shalate, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going out to this beautiful mansion built in early 1900s, 6,000 square, 5 acres, pecan drive down the middle. And I'm going out to meet the owner, and I'm supposed to be over there at 10 o'clock, and it's an hour ride from me. So I'm, halfway there, and the owner calls, says, hey, can you come about 10:30? And I'm like, yeah. So I go, I'm riding around looking at some land. About 10:15, I see her pull in. And so I come in behind her, and 2 little tiny dogs and a medium-sized dog, come and greet her at the car, and they're all barking, excited to see her. And yeah, I've had animals all my life. And I get out my truck, and I see the 3 dogs over there, and they're kind of barking at me. And I didn't pay them any attention, and I'm looking at her, and I'm walking up to her, and the middle dog comes around, sneaks up behind me, and bites me right in the jewels. And I grab him, and I'm like, oh, Lord, he got the family jewels. And the lady
Did you ever
grabs
get
him
him back?
Well, that's another story. Let me get there. So she grabs him and says, "Oh, I'm gonna put him in the kennel." And I go to wipe the slobber off of me, and I see blood, and I'm like, "Oh, this ain't good."
It was from his teeth.
Yeah, and I was hoping. So I go had a golf towel in my truck and Band-Aids, and she comes back over. I'm like, "Do you mind if I use your restroom?" And I go in the bathroom and drop trout, and I mean, blood is everywhere. So I clean myself up. He got my scrotum really good.
Okay.
So I clean myself up, slap a couple bandages.
Right?
Yeah, I do actually on my phone. I do, and I clean myself up, slap 2 bandages on, and I go back to work. Tom, I'm there for 2 hours doing an MLS data sheet on this house, big house.
With a bleeding sack.
I had bandages on it. I left and went to Bennettsville.
Were they your bandages or were they her bandages?
No, they were my bandages. I had them in my truck. So I go to Bennettsville and help a buddy of mine who's buying a
50%
restaurant.
commission.
And I was uncomfortable, but I wasn't in any pain. I learned a lot about scrotums that day. So,
Nothing I don't already know.
okay. Well, so I finally make it home. It's about 3:30 when I get home, and my wife's asleep taking a nap. And I call her and I'm like, "Hey, baby, come in the bedroom. I need to show you something." And bathroom, and she comes in the bathroom, and I drop
She's like,
trowel.
"Show me your balls again."
Helicopter.
Yeah. And I come in and I pull the bandages off, and my wife, it immediately starts bleeding again. And my wife says, "You need stitches." And I thought, this isn't going to be good, right?
Yeah. Well, before I'm,
So
on the DL for a week.
my son happens to be home and comes in, and here comes the jokes. That dog thought you had kibble in there, didn't he? He thought you had a Scooby snack. Did you have to run around the yard and chase him down and pick up body parts and, blah, 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 and here's all. And my son's in the floor laughing, thinking this is hysterical. And I'm over here thinking, my wife said stitches. I don't really want stitches, I can get through this thing, right?
Were you already snipped?
No. The
dog helped?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was a free vasectomy, right?
Oh. I want to circumcision. I was like, so you got the force in my head. I'm like, I'm glad we know that about your turtleneck.
Yeah.
But he took the turtleneck.
He borrowed it.
So my wife's calling the doctor I got to see over in Hartsville and says, my husband's been bit in the scrotum. He needs stitches. We all sew him up. And my wife puts the phone down and says, I can hear him laughing in the background. They think this is a crank call, I'm like, great. This is in the middle of COVID back in probably 2000, 2001 or whenever it was.
Little did they know is you finna show up,
So
blood in hand.
I'm thinking, I don't want stitches. This is probably going to hurt worse than a dog bite, right? And so I'm on the way. We're on the way over to Hartsville to go see these people. And I'm concerned that D-Heck's going to come take these people's dog. And This was a $500,000 listing. I didn't want to lose the listing, right?
Was I supposed to take pictures for that one, or did I take pictures of it?
Of his balls?
I could no.
You did.
Yeah, of the balls. No, because I feel like when you first told me this story, I think that I was supposed to go to that, and you called me and we had to postpone it, and I think that's why.
It could be. So anyway, the best one that came out of all of it, I thought, on the way over there, my wife says, "You want me to call the preacher and have him put you on the prayer list at church?" I said, "Please see if you can get him to pray for my balls in front of the congregation." That
Before
would
we
be
wrap
awesome.
up service, we'd like to all say a prayer for Sean Austin's balls.
Yeah, he needs some.
They've been through a lot
this.
this week.
So I get to the ER, or the doctor's urgent care over there, and I go in, and I was a little embarrassed to tell the girl at the counter while I was there. I was like, I just need to see a doctor. And I go sit down, and my wife comes in. She's like, "Did you tell him why you were here?" And I said, "No." And she goes up there and tells them, and the little girl's like, "We thought that was a prank. You know, people were playing a prank on us." So they get me right back in the room, and of course the doctor's a nurse, and I mean a female, and
Still
nurse
laughing.
is in there, and my wife's in there, and here I am butt naked on the table, and I'm like,
It
here
sucks
have to-
like women
did you have
laugh
to
at your
spread eagle?
penis, too.
yeah,
Did they make you do
I'm
this?
up in stirrups or whatever, and I'm like, here I am finally naked with 3 women, and this is what's going on,
damn it.
and I'm looking at
Finally.
my wife going, "Baby, take some pictures so we can post this on Facebook," and the doctor's going,
That was a weird Christmas card that year.
Yeah.
You can't put this on Facebook. But the doctor did kind of cover me all up and took a picture of the stitches, and I ended up with 7 stitches.
So you're sending that photo to us, right?
Yeah, I've got it.
got
Yeah.
Stitches were 1 inch apart.
Yeah.
Did
So
8
scrotums
stitches.
don't have a lot of nerve endings in them. So
Thank you. I was
that's
gonna
why,
ask.
That's why it was uncomfortable, but it didn't really hurt. But now she did say, had one of his teeth punctured one of my testicles, and I probably would have been in a fetal position on the ground crying for death, like a baby and begging for death.
Thank God for balls of steel.
I'm just glad I didn't have to chase him around, or he didn't want to play tug of war with me. That would have been bad if it had been your dog out there, and he was pulling.
She does not
and,
let go.
So yeah, I
So-
mean, you just have to go. You couldn't pull back, right?
Can I call you Hacky Sack from now on?
Yeah, exactly. I did go back about
Hacky
6
sack,
months.
Austin.
I go back about 6 months later with a sinus infection or something, and I'm in the room with Doc. I said, "Doc, I got to tell you, you do great work. You can't even tell that there were stitches there." And she says, "They're all wrinkled up anyway. You wouldn't be able to know."
I was just going to make that joke. The wrinkles hide them.
Yeah.
Damn, she's got no chill.
The same year this happens, my broker's like, "What is it with you and animals?" I'm at a kitchen table, 3 French bulldogs barking in crates. I'm like, "Will they shut up if you let them out?" She said, "Maybe." So she lets them out, and
They keep biting testicles.
yeah, me instinctively sticks my hand down to let them smell my hand, and the male just takes a big bite out of my my hand there, and blood's going everywhere. She's all freaked out, and it's a good way to get listings, Tom. Actually,
you like,
just
"I own
let
this
their
house now."
Let their dog bite you, and you're guaranteed to get the listing, right?
There's more though.
There's more. So I have a feral cat that was sneaking into my garage eating my cat's food, and I had a crate, a cage, and there's a little cat about 3 pounds, and I thought, my dog's cornered him in the garage. I got him in the house. I closed up the door where he got in, and I had this great idea. I was just going to go grab him by the back of the neck, pick him up, put him in the crate, and take him to the pound.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, it was a real good idea until when I picked him up, I got too close to this hand, and he locked in on this thing. Dude, I tapped out in about 2 seconds. I
cats will
wanted
fuck
that
you
little
up.
3-pound cat off of me so bad.
I'd be punching
and I'm
the wall.
fighting him with this one. When he let loose, he turned and locked on this one. And I'm screaming like I'd never screamed before. It was pain like I'd never felt before. My wife's running out there wanting to know what's going on. Blood is everywhere. We had to wrap my hands in big towels.
Okay.
Sean lost a lot of blood. From
I
these
ended
animals.
up
That's all
with
we're saying.
3 stitches in each hand. I had to walk around for 3 days like a T-Rex because my hands were swollen up like softballs. I couldn't drive. I couldn't write. I couldn't wipe my butt. I mean, it was bad,
Is that
So
where
for
you
3 days,
Yeah.
you just shit
So
and let it air dry?
I just held it.
Let it
until
let it
it's
air
time.
dry.
just
shook
let
it off?
crust, dude?
Hey, wife,
drag it on the rug?
baby, I need you again.
Yeah.
dude,
I'm call your son.
I'm not even joking. This is one of the main reasons why me and Sean have gotten along so well is because I swear, like 3 out of 4 listings that I went to in this time stretch, every time I showed up, he had a different story and a different bandage. And I'm like, what is happening to you? Are you just getting attacked
I thought
by
I was
everything?
some kind of dog whisperer before I got into real estate, and I've learned
Turns out
that's
he
not
is
the
a dog whistle.
So
now when I show up at an appointment and there's a dog, I take my planner and cover my stuff up just because you never know when somebody might mistake
Needless
it for a
to say, I
snack.
put Callie up when I
yeah, what's the worst thing? What's the worst thing that's happened to your scrotum?
4 kids.
4 kids, not from your scrotum.
He's gonna go put peanut
Not
butter
from-
on his tonight and go dangle it in
Two.
front of the dog.
I'm
for
kidding. I'm
for a
kidding.
quick vasectomy.
This is a
Yeah.
family show, Sean.
Oh yeah.
It's not. Just to be clear,
It's not. It's actually
that is
marked
far
not
from the
made for
worst thing
kids.
that's come out. I mean,
Oh, not even close.
yeah, the last. Once again, I'm listening to the podcast and you talking about how we need to cut something out, but it's the whole thing is in there.
I didn't even get to it.
Yeah,
What
last
was it?
episode.
Yeah.
was
Life
it?
is a real
Chapped lips.
Chapped lips.
We're not gonna. We'll talk off camera.
I guess I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are down to is 5:09. Dude, I love it.
We got like 5 minutes to talk about, 6 minutes to talk about raising kids. So you kept yours alive for 28 years. Any advice? We really went sideways, but it's funny. I like,
Dude, it's
You know, when Jake came to me, it reminded me of something that happened when my son was 14, and I wish I would have learned this at a lot younger age. But
okay.
living over in Lamar, I'm a Lamartian now. I moved there.
I love that term.
So competitive, man. And I coached him in baseball from time he could walk until he was 14.
That's
and
good parenting.
When he was 14, I read a book that 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬 Jr. wrote called Parenting Young Athletes. It changed my world. And I'm going to share this with every dad out there, okay? Kids are not a 401k plan. They're not your retirement plan. They're not going to the pros. They're not going to be Tiger Woods or whoever.
Mine certainly.
And your children that are playing sports, it should be fun.
Yes.
It shouldn't be about winning and, you know,
Yes.
and it's bad for a kid to play the same sport year round, and that's the only thing they do is play soccer all year long. They really need to play various sports. It's too hard on their body, you know, playing baseball year round, travel ball year round, throwing a ball year round. That's not good for them.
It's
you know?
torture on your shoulder.
And I learned that when my son
Steroids
was
help.
14. And I tell you, I regret the times that, you know, I had 8 and 9-year-olds or, you know, 6 and 7-year-olds or even 10, 11-year-olds. And children were sitting the bench because it was more important that my team won than my kids having fun.
Yep.
And
I hated that.
If I could go back, I would never, ever, ever make a kid sit a bench. And I feel bad for high school coaches because their job depends on them winning. But you got to remember they're kids, man. They're 14, 15, 16 years old. A wise guy told me one time.
Like a mobster?
Yeah. And we were talking about Carolina Clemson football. And he said, you know, Sean, I never let a bunch of 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids determine what kind of mood I'm going to be in or what kind of person I'm going to be. And I think about that a lot, you know, with college sports. And, you know, Gamecocks are getting whipped this year. And they're kids. They're young adults. They're 18, 19, 20 years old. I mean,
and it's not their fault. It's Beamer's fault.
but putting pressure on a 8, 9, 10-year-old, 11-year-old to win at all costs, to, you know, be the best and, you know, conquer. And in my head, we're thinking, oh, this is my ticket to, you know, being rich. You know, my kid's going to be a star. So let's put a ton of pressure on them. And what happens, I've seen it a lot in my years. By the time they get to high school, they don't even want to play the sport anymore. And by the time they get, even if they were good enough to go to college to play soccer or baseball or football or whatever, they're usually burnt out because of all the pressure that parents put on them to succeed and be the best and win. And, you know, and it's crazy. And I was so hard on my son educationally and as an athlete, you know, and I look back on it and it should have been fun for him, not about worried about upsetting dad because dad wants me to be the best player out here. So shame on any dads out there that are, you know, putting so much pressure on their children to be the best at every sport. You know, that's
my
crazy.
parents were a lot like you're describing in the sense of like wanting us to have fun. And when we didn't have fun, you know, they were able to recognize it pretty quick. And I was starting to get like that, like where I was hard on Bryce because I didn't want him to just like quit everything that he starts. And I realized I was about to become that, like really pushing. He just genuinely didn't enjoy it. And I like got on his level of understanding. And same thing with JoJo with this whole cheer thing.
Yeah.
Pumped when she quit cheer because it was like horrible for her mental health. And I was like, I sat there and I like watched some of the other parents, and they're all great people, but you can tell they're pushing their kids.
The worst?
There's like 6. I can tell you 5. They're all like 6 years old. These kids are like 6 to 8, and they're like, their parents are just pouring money into this and pouring time into this, and it's just like, do you even ask if you like they're having fun?
Yeah.
And that was something that I think about, and I refuse to push my kids to do something just because I want them to succeed at something. I want them to want to succeed, and that's how they really succeed. So I like that though.
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal is to find what they really want to do.
Yes.
Can I speak on the whole like benching kids thing?
I found this book, by the way, in the dollar store for $1. Cal Ripken Jr. wrote it. It's called Parenting Young Athletes. If you can find it in the dollar store,
I can't read. So
That
this
had
was
to
years
be,
ago.
Yeah, nothing in the
time
dollar
ago,
store
right?
is $1 anymore.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
They're just like
that's
it
a long
costs
time ago.
dollars.
Yeah, that was 14 years ago, 15
You can only
years
buy
ago.
it with dollars.
But I wish I'd have read that book, and I when I read it, I thought this should be mandatory reading for every parent and every coach and every league. That this should be fun for children. This isn't your way out of financial freedom. Your kid here, they're children.
Well, I think like
Realistically-
mandatory like parenting books are whoever pays us first.
Right. I mean, first of all, let's talk about this. Poor Cal Ripken for having to sell dollar books at Dollar Tree.
He was right, though. He was right. I look back on it now, and man, my heart hurts for kids that, I was playing
Cal Ripken Jr.
I was playing the best 9, and the other kids were sitting the bench. They got one defensive inning, and they got to bat one time.
No. I want to speak on behalf of all bench riders and terrible athletic kids. Thank you. The last thing we wanted was to be called up to the plate.
I was an assistant coach on Bryce's baseball team, and that was one thing I feel like I was pretty adamant about was making
This kid
sure
sucks. He stays on the bench.
And I would try and get him to I would try and convince the coaches that I worked with. One of them was really competitive, and the other one was like very on the same level as me. I was like, dude, let him play the infield.
Yeah, just let them play everywhere. If
Play
they want to
third
pitch,
base. If they get drilled with the ball and they never want to play the infield again, guess what?
Yeah,
You don't have to put them in the infield
I got the
anymore.
wind knocked out of me at shortstop once.
I actually
Went right up my glove, up my arm, into my chest, and I just fell
Probably
over
had bad
sideways.
form. It's your
my
fault.
son reminds me we show up early for practice one day, and we're
Bad coaching.
throwing a baseball back and forth, and he blames it on me, and I'm like, you're the one that didn't catch the ball. But he pulls his glove down, ball smacks him right in the mouth, breaks his 2 bottom tooth, knocks another tooth out.
Yeah.
And I remember him leaning over.
Put a little extra on that
I
one?
remember him leaning over and spitting blood and spitting his teeth out. And boy, he was mad at me. And I'm like, you're the one that didn't catch the ball.
Right, that's why they call it a knuckleball, son. But it's like getting punched in the face.
But he went and sat in the golf cart. And one of my kids' mamas was a dental hygienist, and she showed up and kind of looked at him and thought he was going to be okay. And by the time the other kids got there and started practicing, he came out and practiced that night.
Boss.
But I still,
Toothless.
I still get
That's because
harassed.
he pushed him so hard. He actually made him go out and practice.
Yeah.
I still get harassed about breaking his teeth and throwing him out of a golf cart, and
We discussed
Sounds like
this.
solid parenting.
yeah,
Honestly, I
exactly.
threw my kids across, or my dad threw me across the gravel driveway at like a high rate of speed. So we discussed that on here. So I feel like that's good for him.
Yeah, it's a blessing though to have them and to be able to look back on these little things that at least I was with him. I was doing stuff with him, and accidents happen. They happen.
And hindsight's always 20/20. Like you might not realize, but you might have helped shaped him into like having a really good work ethic because you pushed him so hard. And the fact that you recognize it later, kind of like I feel like every parent.
And
now you get to like truly enjoy how good of a son you raise and how determined of a son that is going to do this with special needs kids, and like that might not have happened had you not parented and we're kind of hard on him athletic.
And now his S is whistle, and
Yes.
chicks dig that.
Yeah. When he was, I think up through 6th grade, I had a rule where he got paid $25 for every A, but he had to make all A's. If he made one B, he got nothing.
Oh.
It's kind of like Glen Burnie, Glen Ross, right? First prize is Cadillac Escalade. Second prize, set of steak knives.
Third
And,
prize is what?
You know, when he got in
Ebola.
high school,
Fired.
Oh.
yeah. When he got into high school, I went to $50 for every A. But you had to make all A's. You got nothing if you made a B.
How many classes did he have?
At 5, 6, whatever, you know. So he could make $300 of a report card, and I didn't have to pay.
bribery.
I didn't have to pay it out much. There was always one B on there, you know. But he ended up graduating high school
Have you
with
considered
honors.
paying
and,
his teachers? You might have gotten better results.
well, but he graduated high school with honors, graduated college with honors, and I really didn't have to pay a whole lot out because that was a simple. It's got to be all A's. You get nothing for. If you show up with 2 A's, I'm not giving you $50 or whatever. You get nothing. You got to have all A's to get paid.
No, that's good.
It worked. So
Yeah, that's good motivation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kids
So-
are greedy.
I just
Anyways.
realized you have the leg lamp.
Speaking
over
of
here.
which, we need to talk about that for the next one. The way it's cut now, this is never on the show.
That's your fault. You said you liked the 3-way.
I do, but we can change the angle where the camera is. And
Then you won't be in it.
we can get both of us in here.
You would constantly, all you would see is right here.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there is a way to do it. You defeatist.
I think
There
y'all
is
should
no
put
solution
some
to this
kinda
whatsoever.
Ocean background back here, like they do on Whose Line Is It Anyway? You know, and have fish eating people.
I
or
can
Yeah.
we can do
crazy
that. That's
stuff
why we
going
put
on
it
behind
like
us.
That
and
is, we're gonna have a
like
picture
a
of
green
your.
screen. You know,
Yeah,
back
your
here.
scrotum's going to be back
Yeah, there we go.
Exactly where I was
I'm
going.
gonna send y'all the picture, right?
Yeah, your bloody scrotum's going to be
exactly
behind you
where I
the
was
entire
going.
time.
All right, we got to get
What-
grumpy because
I-
Jake's on a time schedule.
right.
I'm
Hit
gonna tell you this
that.
real quick. When I tell this story, most of the time people are staring at my crotch the whole time I'm telling it, and I'm like,
Why?
everything's
That seems strange.
everything's still there, nothing's missing, you know.
Your fly's down.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at the point of our show of the grumpy old men. So
Yes.
this is things that piss you off, and because they piss you off, you realize that you're getting older.
Yeah, stuff that makes you grumpy these days, things that aggravate you.
Well, if I can tell this real quick, and I thought it was pretty funny when you told me about the grumpy old men segment, and I call them GOMs, you know, GOMs, grumpy old men.
Love it.
And golf course I live on, I play in a lot of dog fights, and pretty much everybody I play with 65 plus. So a couple weeks ago, I'm in a dog fight. Just so happened my 36-year-old was in the
Are
cart
you
with
saying
me.
dog fights?
Yeah, that's when a bunch of golfers get together, put money in, and gamble.
And then 2 dogs fight to the death.
No. Anyway, I probably should
That's
change
during
the name of that,
Christmas.
right?
Christmas
light
yeah.
comparisons.
So
Yeah, some people don't know
First-
what that means.
we're playing with 176, I think 173, and you know that first hole they get on this kid for standing on the other side of the cup while they're putting, and then the next hole they get on him for making some noise when they're trying to hit, and by third hole they fussed at him again, and we by the time we get to the fourth hole he hits 3 or 4 bad shots, and I could tell that he is just mentally messed up because these grumpy old men are giving him a hard time, And I could tell. So he picks up on the fourth hole, and he's sitting in the cart, and I finished the hole, and we're driving over to the fifth hole behind my house, and we get to the tee box. I said, hey, man, that's just 2 grumpy old men up there, and they're taking their frustrations out on you. And the reality is neither one of them have probably been laid in 15 to 20 years. You'd
Facts.
be grumpy too.
Yeah.
And he thought about that thing and laughed, and he ended up playing a great golf the rest of the round when he realized the only reason they were grumpy is because they hadn't been laid in probably 15, 20 years. And I told them that
It's
too.
only
and-
so much Pamela Henderson can do.
yeah, I told them that too, and they weren't denying it when I confronted them
I'm
with
sure
it
they
down
weren't.
the
It probably
line. I
doesn't
think
even
they were
work.
thinking, you know what, that's probably why we are grumpy,
Yeah.
So,
Anything specifically for you?
I
When did you get laid last?
yesterday. What's today?
Yeah, dude.
I tell you what.
Now I'm grumpy.
Now
Yeah,
I'm
fucking
older than you guys. I'm 55, so I guess I was 6 or 7. I was probably 5 or 6 when Pong came out, and Atari. I was maybe 7 or 8 when Atari came out. Mm-hmm. And back then we had one TV. So when my dad was home, when we only had 3 channels, we didn't have cable. So when my dad was home, you couldn't play Atari, right? And I see kids now on their phones, and it bothers me that they are on technology so much, and I worry about the dopamine reactions they're getting, and the the emotional roller coasters they get from social media and the instant gratification they get from playing a game, or how mad they get when they don't win a game. And you know, even though I grew up playing video games, I've got a PlayStation at my house. I haven't played in a long time, but and I grew up playing video games, but I see kids now on their phones, and it's so sad.
It is.
Because they're missing the whole world around them because they're on that phone. And I can, you know, as a realtor, if I can turn that thing off and set it down, like sitting here chewing fat with you guys for an hour and put my phone down, man, that's like a breath of fresh air for me. I hate being a slave to that thing, but I see children just so addicted to it, man, and it makes me sad that they're not out playing sports.
I can't even have conversations with Bryce like on the way to school. He's just buried.
Well, I'll tell you, I went the first round of the high school playoffs. I go to watch Lamar play, and they're 1A high school, right? That means they can't count past 1A. I'm kidding. But so
stupid.
Lamar's got, you know, I think I'd counted. They got 42, 43 kids on the sideline. First round of the playoffs. I don't even know who the school was. Never heard of them. They show up. They had 17 kids on the sideline on a football team. And you know what thought crossed my mind is, how do they practice? They don't even have 22 kids to have an offense and a defense. They had 17 children on the sideline. And I thought, there has to be more boys in that school than
This was
17.
during the playoffs?
This was the first round of the playoffs. They had 17 kids.
So they had just a ton of dual.
This is the testosterone drop in America.
They don't have many 1A high schools, so you know, pretty much everybody makes playoffs, you know, right? So the worst team plays the best team kind of thing.
Yeah.
They had 17 kids on the sideline of a high school football team.
That's crazy.
And all I could think of is because of telephones. It's because of smartphones. And because they'd much rather be sitting playing a video game or getting online and gaming with their buddies or being on their telephone. And they don't go outside and play sports anymore.
I heard another theory that makes a lot of sense to me too about them is the high levels of anxiety in kids today as it's increasing is because they never have to manage boredom. They always have something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to figure out stuff to do when I was a kid. We were playing in construction ditches, blowing up army men with firecrackers, you know, magnifiers on ants, you know. We had to figure out things to do.
We used to drag things onto the train tracks and wait for the train to come.
Yeah.
In Jersey.
The bodies. I need my kids to like understand you can entertain yourself in any way that you want if you just like be creative and be imaginative and go outside and do. My kids are I love them to pieces, but they have the worst. I mean, I'm talking about if they're bored for 5 minutes, worst day of their life. And it's so painful.
Did you make them watch Muppet Babies?
No.
I used to watch that growing up, and I've been playing it. I love the Muppets, first off. Love the Muppets. But that was the whole premise of the show, was your imagination can take you anywhere.
Yeah, but what you're saying, like, I'm telling you, it's just not there. There's no imagination. I mean, I remember.
So they got nothing going on.
Dude, I remember. No, it's that they can't be like creative because everything that you can possibly think of is out there on the internet and somebody's already done it.
Yeah.
So unless you're gonna mimic it, and everybody knows that unless it's a haircut or clothes with kids, they don't want to mimic anything. They all want to be unique. But there's nothing to be unique about because everybody else has already done something to put it out there. So that's why this whole stupid 6, 7, and all this other dumb shit is like so relevant. Is because
I thought of another one that made me a grumpy old man. Phone etiquette. What happened to saying hello and goodbye? And, you know, good morning.
Introducing yourself when you call somebody. When you call a stranger about a listing, saying your name out loud.
I talk to kids and they just hang up. You know, they call me about a house and I'm talking to them and I'm like, okay, well, you know, we'll talk to you later. Click. They don't even say goodbye or thank you for talking to me. And I'm
on the flip side, the really old people who never hang up their phone.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You just hear what they're doing. They say bye and then you just hear the phone in their pocket and what they're doing.
You hear it in their purse.
Well, you know, they call. They don't say, hi, this is so and so. Thank you for taking my call.
What is your name? Hey, I'm calling about the house.
Yeah.
What is your name?
Where are you?
Which house?
Which house? You know, what are you talking about?
Yeah. What's wrong with your house?
And, you know, they don't introduce themselves when they call. And, you know, I'm answering the phone, you know, hey, this is Sean, you know, and that you know, phone etiquette is
This
like
is Tom. How much is that house? I get
Yeah.
that. This is Tom. How much is that house?
It's $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just told me your credit score. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. Phone etiquette is, that makes me a little, that gets me a little frustrated.
That's
sometimes.
a good grumpy old man. That's a good one.
That's a grumpy old man. I think
It's
speaking about
Christmas lights being up all year.
Christmas lights. Because I know you got to be done in like a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna let you go and
just go. So mine was gonna be everything Walmart, but I'll save that for another one. Just because instead of having a grumpy old man, today's episode, the grumpy old man that aired was how every time I go into the gym locker room, there's somebody just taking the most god awful shit imaginable in that locker room. Just something is wrong with that person.
they're birthing.
They are. It's just,
and they're making the sounds too.
It's just the smell, and it's every time I go in there. And this week, I went in there, and I noticed nobody was in there.
So
and
you
God
did. So
said,
you
"It's
went and
your
blew
turn."
it up.
I'm
It's your
dead serious.
turn, right? Yeah.
I literally walked in. I was just like, "Oh,
You launched one?
it was me."
And people are walking in thinking a wildebeest died somewhere,
Yeah. I'm like, every time I heard somebody walk in, I'm like, I'm okay, I promise.
There's a dead animal in
He's
the
back
stall.
there making sounds.
Yeah.
It sounds like the mating call of an elephant,
Sounds like
oh!
What exactly does the mating call of an elephant sound like? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm doing the thing again, man. I really have had so much fun with my kids. I suck at the grumpy old man thing now.
Yeah.
We've done this. This is episode 26. So we've done 26 or 25 episodes of me finding some shit to complain about, and sometimes
Well,
I
like
just
23, because it's the second time you have it.
don't. Yeah, but it's wild to me that the older that I get, the more my priorities are changing about my family.
Well, you want to bitch about Walmart with it? Everybody hates Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart. Let's
Yeah.
go.
All right. So I get sent for this this stuff. My daughter's got very curly hair, and something to help with like brushing and loosening up, getting the curl. My wife sends me a screenshot of it, and I go into Walmart and I find an employee and I say, "Hey, I'm having trouble finding this. I'm by where all the shampoos are," and they go, "Try by the baby section because there's also child safe for the eyes." So I walk the 3.5 miles to the other corner of the store, around
Got your
idiots,
steps in.
around people who don't have to be anywhere and don't. I think they blacked out and woke up wandering in Walmart side by side, blocking entire aisles. And I go to the other side and I look around. I can't find it, and I call my wife, and it was where I was in the first place. She directed me back there. Like the whole customer service just. Do you know where this is? It's in the store somewhere. Did you try the opposite corner of the store? It might be there. Like, that's what Walmart does.
That's a good one. I can piggyback off that, and I can make that a grumpy old man because recently I was in Walmart, and dude, this deserves a segment of the entire show. We could do this every week. I'm so sick and tired of going to Walmart, and they have self-checkout, but they have like all but 3 closed. What is the purpose of that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like there's like 15 self-checkouts, and they'll be like
And
3
all closed
open,
but 3.
and then the last one, the third one, is the spark and scan person. So you can't just walk up and use it. You have to have a Walmart Plus membership, and it's like, dude, there are 2 open, and there's like 50 people in line.
Or they'll have like the 2 sections of like 3, then 3 and 3 over here, and I got to the line. There's a guy waiting to use one of them. We're kind of standing between them, and then I get behind him and I'm looking around, and someone gets behind me, and then a woman walks away from there, and the woman behind me goes to that. I'm like, "Hey," and she goes, "What?" I go, "What? I mean,
Walmart etiquette.
We weren't here." And she goes, "I thought this was one line and that was that line. So what? You just thought we were just sucks to be you guys. You got on the wrong line. Like, what did you think?" And then she's like, "If you want to go." So then I'm like, "Well,
I want to go, dude."
yeah." And I was like,
Trying to fight.
well, I says to the guy, I go, "Well, you were here first. You want to go?" And he took her side, and I was like, "F you both. I'm going."
I'm good about that though. If somebody was in front of me, I will never go around. I'll push them that direction. But one thing I always make the mistake of, and this might be you guys do the same thing. I never pick the right person to stand behind. I always pick the person that I think has the least amount of items, which means in theory,
what's my lane, and it's
yeah,
always
in
incorrect,
theory they're going to go the fastest. in reality, they take it out.
So,
and they're
so
like,
next time you go in, just for a little comedic relief, go to the sexual aid section, pick up some condoms, lubes, and walk around and
Sexual
just
aid?
drop it in some buggies, along the way when people aren't looking. And, that way when the 80-year-old lady gets to the checkout and she's got a box of 12 Magnum condoms in there.
Sean is just like a 16-year-old trapped inside this golfer's body.
I'm gonna get
So
condoms and cold sore cream and drop them in somebody's.
There you go.